galaxy, like out of this world type of guitar effects that sound really just I'm terribly describing this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Three Idiots Talking podcast. We are here with another subscriber album request. A subscriber has decided to put in some money for us to do a paid album request, and we are happy to oblige. By the way, if you guys would like to, in the description below on all our videos and in our live streams as well, you should be able to find our email, our business email, or you could DM us on Twitter, and we can negotiate a price if you want to put your album request to the top of the queue. And if you do so, we can do one of these where we give you guys a paid album request. So the album we are doing right now is called The Stone Roses by The Stone Roses. It's pretty simple. It's their debut album. Now, I know very little about this band. In fact, I know nothing about this band. I know they came out in 1989, and that's pretty much all I know. I do know, I think are they alt rock, Noah? I don't know. No?
I know nothing about this band.
You know nothing. Okay, so this is pretty much, Cole, do you know anything? I know you said you knew a little.
Kind of alt rock, art rock-ish.
Alt art rock-ish. All right, fair enough. Well, we know very little about this, so this would be kind of a first. I know I haven't listened to it, Noah hasn't listened to it, and Cole's only listened to part of it, correct?
Yeah, like 2 songs 2 years ago.
Okay, so this is pretty much a first listen through for us. Thank you very much to the subscriber who paid for this one, and let's get into it. Stone Roses, starting off with I Wanna Be Adored.
Dope intro.
Very nice guitar sound.
Good reason for a Hugo. I like this guy's voice. That's a fucked up lyric. Oh yeah. That was cool. It's got a very nice back and forth sway to it.
Random time signature change, because why not?
Somebody's got to tell me what that doo-doo-doo-doo-doo thing in the
That was a
background
guitar.
was. Really?
Yeah.
How the hell they make that noise?
Yeah, if the album tends to go in this direction, I'm going to be a fan.
I'm liking the start.
Guitar tones were on point. They were very pretty, especially the lead tones. The vocal, I'm a fan of this guy so far. I think he sounds good. I thought the lyrics were pretty good as well. They had some pretty experimental stuff going on, more than I was initially thinking it would be. Yeah, I am looking forward to the rest of this album. I'm feeling at 8.5.
8.5. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'd like to go next. Yeah, I have truly no idea what to expect from this album. I mean, this was I believe this had the most plays on Spotify.
Yep.
Yes. So we might have peaked right here. I certainly hope not, but we might have peaked already. I don't know. That can be the case sometimes. Also, that can be just because it was the first track on the album. Yeah, I really like his voice. It's super nice. The lyrics, I was kind of hoping he would go a little bit further from just the like 3 lines he said the whole song. We'll see if he does that in the rest of the album. I have a feeling he will. The thing I noticed the most, though, that background doo-doo-doo-doo-doo thing that Noah would point out was the guitar effect. That's a really cool effect that I've only heard from the likes of like Pink Floyd. They do those really wobbly, earth-sounding, watery type guitar effects that make it really galaxy, like out of this world type of guitar effects that sound really just I'm terribly describing this. Point being, it makes it not sound of the world that we it just sounds really futuristic and cool. And given that this was in 1989, when the album came out, I have no idea how hard that effect was to do, but Floyd was doing it in the 70s, so it must not be super difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Noah, 8.5.
Because I remember starting this album, but
Maybe you got distracted.
I don't know. I don't know why I wasn't into it when I listened to the song a couple years ago.
You were young.
Because it was really good. I don't know why I didn't remember listening to it very much, or like remember what it sounded like, because I enjoyed it a lot this time. Some really good effects going on, some just really good production, catchy hook,
Yeah.
just really, really cool atmosphere to the whole song. Big fan. Yeah, I'll throw an 8.5 there.
Up next, we have She Bangs the Drums.
Don't she?
She did.
Okay. Ooh. Bass guitar, right?
Yep.
I would assume so. Just confirming. Okay. like there's a double meaning there.
I'm getting new wave vibes.
I am just digging this instrumental. Ooh. Have an interesting comparison. Oh yeah. Oh, that's getting a like too right there. So the instrumental versus the lyrics here are very different. The lyrics are very pop music-esque, right? They're very basic, very something that would be popular in like the 80s type of song lyrics. A great comparison I think would be like like a popular band from like the 80s, you know, a popular like pop group from the 80s, like ABBA or Duran Duran or something lyrically. It's not very ingenious, right? We're not breaking out some Kendrick here on this one.
Yeah, because Kendrick is so ingenious.
Well,
You gotta use your English right.
ingenious is the correct term there. Yes, it is. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I think the instrumental, though, fits very well with the lyrics. If you're going to do a song lyrically where it's just, you know, about this, the instrumental fits perfectly with this, and I think that's fantastic. There's nothing super special about this song in per se. It's got a cool instrumental. I like it. It rides the pop wave a bit. Noah, you mentioned it as new wave, or you got new wave vibes from it. I'm not sure I feel that way. I was more singing like pop rock on this almost. Not fully, but getting in there. I'll give this a 7.5. Noah, you know what? I want to hear your opinion. Go for it.
You're losing me a bit, boys. You're losing me a bit. This was a little too 80s for me.
Yeah.
A little too 80s pop. Nothing really grabbed me as much as the previous song. It's just too 80s. And that's a big old issue for me.
We agree.
Yeah, lyrics or whatever. Instrumental's fine, except it does sound, you know, very much as a product of its time. I'll give it a 7. 7.
Cole, you got a big smile on your face.
Nice. The last comment was accurate and funny.
Yeah, was not nearly as into this one as the first one. Um, like this kind of just sounded like some montage music from some like cheesy fucking rom-com or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I did not care for the vibe or the, you know, tone of this song at all, really. Um,
I don't know.
I mean, it
about
wasn't
that.
awful, but it's just not something I really care for. I give it like a 6.5, maybe a
Ooh,
7.
6.5 to 7. Scroll over, we have a waterfall. Sorry, I have it in full screen, so it scrolls.
Today's the day she swore to steal what you never could own, and race from this hole she calls home. Now you're at the wheel. Tell me how does it feel? So good to have equal eyes, to lift up the lids of your eyes. As the miles they disappear, see land begin to clear, free from the filth and the scorn. This American satellite's one.
It's almost Irish sounding. Almost.
She's a waterfall.
At points, and then he goes back to like British sounding.
Proto U2. Although I think U2 is already a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, never.
That's kind of a cool lyric.
Not crazy about this groove.
I'm in and out with it.
A little too bouncy for me.
Lyrics are a lot better. I like the metaphor of a ship on the sea. Oh. I was not expecting this. This is surprising.
Boy, I'm getting worried. I am
Really?
getting worried about this album. Yeah, I am.
Okay, we're gonna disagree then. Continue.
The 80s-ness is just, it hurts. Like, just the melodies, the hook, especially. The only thing that was a little different was the little jam section at the end, which is solid.
That was
but
surprising.
tone-wise, it's a little too bright for me. It's a little too bouncy. Feels
I'm
like,
sorry. Are you saying that a song that has a bright, bouncy tone is bad?
no, it is when it comes off as being like,
Morning.
yeah, corny or synthetic.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see how
I
they
can
influence
sorta
some
understand that.
bands. I could see some like Oasis in there. I can see it. Yeah, the song's about the same level as the previous. I'll give it a 7.
Interesting. Cole, I'd like to hear yours as well.
Yeah, I'm a little just like, what happened to the vibe of the first song? Like, why did we
I
go
agree
from
with
that
that.
to like to some like 90s sitcom music, like montage music? I don't really know why we did that.
I
This
disagree
just
with
sounds
that. This does not sound like some 90s sitcom music right here. The last song did. This one does not. Sorry.
I
I
can
mean, I think it
definitely
sounds
hear
like
it.
some montage in some 90s movie or something.
Okay, maybe that's a better way of phrasing it.
Yeah, it just feels way more bland than the first song did. The first song was like a lot more creative than these two have been, and it just
Okay.
hasn't been something that I've enjoyed that much. It's not terrible. I mean, like, it's decently written. The vibe is off at this point.
The vibe killer.
I guess I'll give it like the same rating as the last one.
6.5 to 7. Okay, so at very start of the song, I was like, "Oh, there's a little Radiohead influence here. I can hear a little Radiohead in here." And that kind of went away as the song went on, and they started doing the same generic's the wrong word. They started doing the same tone throughout it, and it was just a little bit repeated. I like the lyrics on this better. I think they weren't nearly as corny. I thought it was the metaphor of the waterfall and the ship and the metaphor of what he was trying to say with the woman and the ship. I mean, most people call ships she anyway, so I think it was a very useful metaphor there. It worked very well. I was gonna give this probably like a 7.5 until that jam session at the end. That kind of turned it around. That was very unique, and I wasn't expecting it. I thought it had a lot of cool elements in it. Some instrumentals popped up here and there that changed it and kept it interesting throughout. Like, it was the last minute and a half almost of the song. It was about a third of the song there. Yeah, I'll give them credit for that. I do hope this becomes a little less poppy throughout it, and maybe leans more into the rock side of it, a little less 80s pop and a little bit more. I mean, you could even do 80s rock. There is some good 80s rock bands, but even, I mean, I saw someone say this sounds more like the 60s to them, which is an interesting opinion, but I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. But what I'll say is I think this has potential, and if they continue leaning into the more interesting sides, like that last minute 30 of the instrumental and use that, and the interesting lyrics and stay away from sort of the cheesiness of the previous one, we could have a good album here. I like this one more than these two do. I'm going to give this an 8. All right, let's move on. Don't Stop.
Yep. 60s psychedelia. Yep.
Oh.
Understatement. This song is the last song, but played backwards.
Wait, is it literal?
Wait,
Like,
seriously?
did they just play
You
it
literally
backwards?
play the previous song backwards? Oh, no way.
No.
That's kind of crazy.
It's kind of.
I wonder if he'd be better. Oh my god, it does sound like that. Yeah, I think it is just straight up the last one backwards. That's kind of wild.
Heard of somebody doing that before.
I think Eminem did that once, but like not as a whole song. Oh, it's got new words. Okay, well, yeah, we can. Some of these lyrics are obviously new. Okay, so the song instrumental is just played backwards with new lyrics. That's pretty wild.
I suppose Kendrick kind of did something like this on Duckworth, where like at the end of the song Duckworth on Damn, he plays like the whole album really quickly.
Wow. I can't tell if I'm interested just because it's backwards, or if it actually sounds interesting.
Don't stop, isn't it funny how you shine? Yes, she's breaking if I was with her. We're under the ship, so get me over. Now that was me. Now she fishes now.
I don't like the layered vocals on this. They're not helping. Oh, we're sticking with it, Mana. We're doing the whole thing, don't worry.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
It's hilarious, dude.
What the fuck is happening?
Won't you just ask me, you're an imbecile. What's the matter for everyone I feel? Hey, blue sea.
This is something Sid Barrett would do.
What a hell of a comparison.
From the top. Awake, I still look, I feel loose. We're all here now, who's the first? Ease into my heart, he must be one of us. Don't stop, isn't it funny how you shine? Don't stop, isn't it funny how you shine?
No, it shouldn't bear it.
This is new. Hey, Mikey Cole. Glad you can make it, man.
I don't really know what just happened.
I'm very confused.
I mean, the song is backwards. It almost sounds like he's singing backwards sometimes, but maybe that's just like
It's the layered vocals, I think, that makes it sound like that. But it's weird though because they're off, slightly off.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I suppose it doesn't really matter.
I guess not.
Super weird vibe to this song.
Yeah.
I don't know if it totally landed. I really didn't particularly care for like the driving kick drum that was going on the whole time. That just made it feel, I don't know. a little just silly, I guess. A little too jaunty, maybe. It's really hard. I'm really struggling to pick words to describe this song. I've never heard somebody just play a song backwards before and then sing over it. Anytime people have done that, it's usually just like one part of a song, like the drums or something. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to do like Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles, and I don't think they pulled it off to that level of success. God, what do I rate this song?
I'm trying to find my own rating here.
I suppose I'd rather listen to this one than the last two.
Yep.
Really?
So I guess I'll give it a 7.
Well, we are definitely going to disagree. Mana put something in the chat, said, yes, Laird, he's singing what the words sound like backwards too. So I guess if you played Waterfall backwards, lyrically, he's singing how the words sound.
Is
Maybe
he like
that's
saying?
why it sounds weird. I don't know. That's what I'm reading into it. Maybe I'm wrong. Any of you Stone Roses fans can let me know how this actually should be listened to. All right. Yeah. So this is weird. Obviously it's weird. The layered vocals don't help this at all. I'm sorry if you are a huge fan of this, but I don't think the layered vocals help whatsoever. In fact, I think it actually makes it harder to understand. He's singing a little off, but obviously it's a backwards song and he's singing it weird, so it's going to sound off. The instrumental is kind of cool, but maybe it's just because it's a backwards instrumental of the previous song that really, maybe that should have been the previous song's instrumental and it might have been higher up. Overall, the idea of playing a song backwards works if you can actually make it work. Obviously, it's a cool idea. I don't think they really nailed it. That being said, it's not bad. I would prefer to listen to the previous song. Frontwards, I guess, would be the right way to word it. I will still give this I'll give it a 6.5. I don't think the layered vocals helped this at all, and in fact, I think it hurt it. I apologize, but no, I can't give it 6. I'm gonna give it 6, which is not that much lower, but whatever. Noah, go ahead.
Boy, oh boy, that was interesting. I'm really happy I didn't have to go first with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't exactly hear people do that, especially an entire song right after the normal version. That was pretty cool. So I'll give them, their props for doing something really out there.
It's very risky.
Yeah, I mean,
Taking up a
wouldn't say
whole 5 minutes on a track to do this is pretty risky.
I wouldn't say it landed, but I also wouldn't really say it missed. I do find this more interesting to listen to than the original version, so I'll give them that. But all the complaints I have are the same that Cole previously stated. Yeah, the kick drum, not a fan. Little goofy, little too bouncy. Besides that, yeah, it's a pretty neat song. I'll give it a 7.5.
All right, moving on to Bye Bye Badman.
Sold me to my skin. Will you join me in your sea submission? Hands and I begin.
These are some okay computer lyrics if I've ever heard singing.
I'm here for it. Oh. Citrus sucking sunshine.
Yeah, this album's getting progressively more psychedelic.
You should be all for it then, Noah.
Didn't know I was the psychedelic guy here.
No, Cole is. I would say so. This is a very kinky song right now.
No.
What are we doing?
A little too jaunty.
I'm throwing stones at you. I want
What? That was. This is tripping me out.
Gotta admit, I'm a little bit confused.
Alright. There's so many things he could be talking about right now. There's a Beatles comparison here. Early Beatles comparison here.
Like, it's be like a weird song off of Rubber Soul.
The tempo changes are kind of wild. I like that. Bye bye, Batman. Damn, 24 concurrent for the Stone Roses. Let's go, boys.
Oh boy. Yeah. I can see why this album has a bit of a cult following. Don't think I've heard anything exactly like it before.
No, it's unique.
It is very unique. The song for the most part was pretty good. I wasn't a big fan of when they would raise the tempo up. Got a little too bouncy. I'm not crazy about the kick drum on this album so far. Some pretty cool little guitar work there, some nice tones. Still has that 80ness to it.
That 80ness. I think it was less prevalent on this song though. This one was more rock oriented than or less of the 80s era here for sure.
This was definitely more psychedelic.
Yeah.
That one I would give I guess a 7.
7. Okay, I'd like to go next. So I thought I was gonna agree entirely with Noah about like this album is starting to get 80s sounding poppy, and then this song came on. It definitely changed it a bit. He's still got a bit of the jauntiness, but you know what I like about this? It kind of changes the jauntiness a bit, and takes away from the cheesiness of that, or the corniness, I guess. Is the tempo changes and the way he speeds up along with the instrumental speeding up for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds and then brings it back to it and then switches back to a tempo increase. They go up and down with the tempo throughout the song, specifically on the hook, where the hook is like, it's not the best hook I ever heard, right? But it does make it a bit more interesting than just a regular, jaunty, almost, sea shanty type of song, because it does change the tempo. It doesn't keep the same thing going on the whole time. I like that. I got to give him credit for that. Noah, you mentioned the psychedelic part of it. I think that's prevalent here. It definitely adds to I guess it keeps it a bit more interesting. We haven't really had a song that has been consistent, like, throughout the entire song. The album seems to be, each song has been a little different. So I'll give credit where credit is due. That's a good song. I don't love the hook, but that's at least worthy of an 8 in my opinion.
Cool.
Maybe a little high, but that's worthy of it right now.
What are they asking about?
Cole, go real quick and then we'll respond to chat.
There's nothing left to respond to chat about. They've got all the information they require.
Go ahead, Cole.
I feel like every time I rate a song, I want to go back and change a rating to a different song because I'm like, maybe I don't know what to rate anything on this album. It's so
It's unique.
bizarre. Like,
I like the word bizarre here. That's a good one.
it's like some parts of the songwriting work and then the other parts don't. And I'm like, okay, well, did you like it or didn't you like it? I'm like, well, I kind of liked it, but I
like
kind of
parts.
didn't like it either.
Those are the hardest to rate. When you like half of the song or parts of the song, it's so hard.
I mean, I respect the ambition. I don't know if it was pulled off perfectly.
Sure.
But it's an interesting idea to have a tempo change. To basically switch genres in the middle of your fucking song like 2 times.
And they do it multiple times throughout the song because they repeat it on the hook every time.
Yeah. I'll just keep rocking with my 6.5 to a 7.
All right, up next we have Elizabeth, My Dear. I heard chat talking about this one, so.
It's less than a minute long.
Oh, 53 seconds.
Big fan of the Queen.
There's no way he just wrote that.
Very opposing to the Beatles, Her Majesty.
I mean, he had to
Is
worry
that
about
illegal?
in
I
Britain.
feel like that's not legal.
I mean, they technically have free speech, so.
Well, you can't threaten, you can't
I-
threaten the president.
I like the
Thank
tone of the
you,
guitar.
Hugo.
I will give this a 7.5.
I
Cool.
had no idea that Queen Elizabeth was not the president. I was making the point that if it's illegal to threaten the president, I would
Oh.
imagine it's probably illegal to threaten the Queen of England if you live in England. That was the point I was making.
How about you just give a damn ranking?
I don't know. A 6?
Wow. All right.
I guess that was on.
Yeah, I was messing with that. I'm a big fan of that guitar. Almost had a little medieval type of sound to it. At least that's what I think. So that's probably somehow my second favorite song on the album so far. I'll throw that an 8. Yeah, she bangs the drum.
Song from my sugar spun sister.
Does that mean your sister's on coke?
That's the vibe I was getting.
Holy shit, Rach. You guys just outright saying fuck the king at a festival is crazy.
The point just flying over your head right now.
Yeah.
I did not mean to imply that you all think the royal family. A lot of you do, though. Big fan of UK politics in the late 80s.
Wow, he is really leaning into that accent. Okay. Ooh. Oh, hell yeah. I like that. Somebody British needs to tell me what sugar spun sister means, unless I'm just missing an obvious
It's gotta
metaphor.
be cocaine.
It's gotta be something with drugs, given the lyrics. Ooh. I'm vibing with this. Wow.
Does this sound to invent Britpop?
If it did, it's
When did
drastically
Oasis
changes
come
in the
out?
next like 2 decades. I'm not sure.
Gonna ruffle some feathers. This and a few songs on the album, they're background music. This is background music. This is 100% background music. This is not something that you can fully pay your attention to. This is something that plays while you're doing something. And I feel that's pretty easy to see. I'm still getting that sitcom vibe that Cole said. Minus the lyrics. The lyrics are their own fucking thing. I mean,
Some movie montage music.
there's cool moments, but the majority of it, I'm just like, yeah, this is happening. So yeah, I guess I'll give it once again 7.
All right, I'm next because I'm going to completely disagree with Noah here. I was doing the hand motions the whole time because he's just straight up wrong. This is not background music, and this is not montage music in any case, because this is too unique to be montage or background music. It has tempo changes. It has instrumentals that come up and just randomly change the beat, and they come in and they stop the cut. They cut off the instrumentals. They do little jazzy up and down, or not jazzy, but like they go up and down with the instruments. They bring in new things. They change it up. Yes, they do go back to that. I know what you're saying, that montage music type of feel, but they keep it interesting throughout the song. So to say it's like, oh, it's only background music, you're wrong. I mean, there's things in here that make this song unique, and that has been the case for the last few songs on this album that we started, even though the first song was clearly better. There are things they adjust in here. I think they're sort of playing both sides of the fence here. They got the poppy 80s type of song music, but they also have the more unique, psychedelic, almost experimental type of music being played. So they add that in and combine it. They're sort of playing both sides of the fence on this, and it's making us. It's hurting our brains to figure out a ranking for some of these songs, because when you play both sides, it's harder to understand. One thing I really liked about this one though is those unique instrumental changes he did throughout the song, or they did throughout the song. I think it adds a variety to the song, and honestly, it's one of my favorite ones so far. It's an 8.5. Cool.
I can't help feel like this is just kind of a less pretentious Oasis song,
Oh my god.
which is technically a compliment because I don't like Oasis at all. Oasis is one of those pretentious bands of all time to me. So it's a little better than that, but it's not really something that I'm like massively into. Like the early stages of Britpop, it's just not something that I'm like super sold on. I don't know. It's
I agree with
kind
that.
of sounds like music from a montage in a movie. I'll throw this one a 7.
All right, up next we have Made of Stone. I feel like this album's one for me. I can see that, Jonathan. It certainly has the elements of that specific era. A lot like Arctic Monkeys' debut had. Last thing Oasis could be described as pretentious. Oh, God.
Okay. I don't know about
Lyrics
that.
are beyond pretentious.
Someday you will find me.
Oh, I like this.
Sometimes I fantasize
that's a very disappointing hook compared to where we started.
I'm standing warm against the cold now that the flames have taken hold. At least you left your life in style. And for as far as I can see, 10 twisted grills grin back at me. Bad money dies, I love the sea. Sometimes I fantasize when the streets are cold and lonely, and the cars they burn on me. Don't these times fill your eyes when the streets are cold and lonely, and the cars they burn on me. Are you all alone? Is
Oh.
I don't know why it's so quiet. It's good.
I would hardly call that quiet.
The guitar,
Yeah.
that was mixed low as hell.
sometimes I fantasize when the streets are cold and lonely, and the cars they burn below me. Don't these times fill your eyes when the streets are cold and lonely, and the cars they burn below me. Are you alone? Are you made of stone?
I'd love to go first. Yeah, I'm getting reeled in a little bit more. I
Oh.
think they showed a bit better songwriting here.
All right.
Started as very interesting, some very cool guitar parts. I think the hook, I think this is one of the better hooks they've written on the album melodically. I thought they did a very good job of that. The guitar solo is good. I agree that it could have been mixed better. I was a fan of the little warping type thing they started doing near the end of the song. I thought that was pretty cool and kept up with the whole psychedelic atmosphere that they've kind of built for this album up to this point. Yeah, that was a good song.
Okay.
I'll give that an 8.
Wow. Okay. I like to go next. I love the verses. I love the tone, the instrumental, and the speed, the tempo of the verses. Instrumentally, I think this is a fantastic song. I do. I think this song is probably the best instrumental they played so far. I know Cole said he wasn't a huge fan of the I guess the pitch level or whatever you want to call it. This how loud the guitar was on the solo. I have zero issue of it whatsoever. I think I could hear everything about it. I wish it would have gone a little harder. That would have been nice. A bit more, go just a little bit more ballistic with the solo and have fun with it. But it's a good solo nonetheless. The thing that really got me, or the only thing dragging it down a bit, is the hook or chorus or whatever you want to call it. It's a little cheesy, a little too sing-songy, if you want, is the best way to word it. Almost getting to the point of being like, I mean, it's not there, but you can hear some like a little bit of like Disney Channel music in there on the hook a bit. Outside of that, great song, solid. I'm gonna go a 9. That's my favorite song so far. Cole.
Lord.
Well, definitely the best song since the opener, I
Yes.
think. Yeah, I'm pretty much agreeing with everything Noah said. Um, I mean, I didn't have any problem with the actual guitar solo. I just thought it was like, turn it up. Like it's just a little buried in there. I mean, I could still hear all of it. It's just like, I don't know. It just sounded further back than the rest of the instrumental. But it's still good. I'll say that was a 7.5.
All right, moving on to Shoot You Down. That's fine, Jonathan. But we're gonna rank it based upon the world, you know, where we're from is. I mean, not where we're from, but we're gonna base upon how it sounds, not just, you know, oh, it's meant for Manchester people. There are a little different cultures in the UK. You're right.
And the time has come to shoot you down. What a sound when the day is done and it all works out. I'd love to do it, and you know you've always had it coming.
What? All right. You're good, Jonathan. Don't worry about it.
I never wanted the love that you showed me. It started to choke me, and how I wish I'd said no too slow. I couldn't take that too fast. I want you to know.
This sounds so Beatles inspired. So Beatles inspired to me. I don't know if taking away the instrumental when he does that those two lines is helping or hurting it. I
think it's pretty neat.
It's unique, and I like the way it like flows into the next part.
It's far too late. I can't wait. Now the time has come. It'll all work out. And when this thing is done, it'll be no doubt. So when you had your fun, will you all walk out? I'd love to do it, and you know you've always had it coming.
What a unique
I'd love to
hook.
do it, and you know you've always had it coming. I'd love to do it, and you know you've always had it coming.
Extremely right, man. Almost everyone was influenced by the Beatles somehow. Some nice harmonizing right there. Wow.
I like the structure and the vibe of it a pretty solid amount.
I thought you might.
I feel like the melody of the chorus could have been worked on a little bit more. But overall, I thought it was pretty pretty solid. I'll throw it a 7 to a 7.5.
Just can't break that 7.5 barrier for Cole yet.
The first.
Oh, the first song did. But since then, Noah, shoot you down.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat as Cole. But there's one issue I have.
Okay.
I feel like the vocal melodies on the hooks are getting a bit redundant. Like, I've heard this done before so many times. I want to hear it. I want to hear a unique one, like they've had a couple times on the album. I want to hear something real crazy in it, but I think we'll get to that on the last two songs. They look rather long.
Do that. Okay.
Yes, once again, a 7.
7. Weird little song. I got heavy Beatles vibes from this. I don't know if you guys did. I really do like the transition from the verse to the hook. I'm not a huge fan of that instrumental takeaway, but I do think it's, or on the hook, I do think it's very unique. And obviously, Noah, you said that you've heard a lot of some melodies that are like this. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe. I haven't heard a ton of them, but I have heard some that sound similar to this. I would just say it's a fairly, there's uniqueness to this song, but overall the structure is actually a bit more basic than the rest of this album so far, except that you know, the hook transition, where it's actually kind of cool. Going to agree with Cole and say a 7.5. This is the one.
Maybe this is the one.
Maybe it is. Jonathan typed this song up. It's very numb sounding bass. Okay.
Getting conflicting reports about what the 10 out of 10 song is.
I am hearing that too.
Oh, he's talking about the closer, not this one.
Oh. Alright, this is not the 10 out of 10 apparently. The next one's the 10 out of 10. Apparently.
It's the last song of the next one.
This is the one. Jonathan is going back and forth.
I think he was trying to hype up the last song, but he's also like, well, this one's a 10 too, but I was really trying to hype up the last one.
Bro wants to burn down Manchester. I think. Wow. Yeah. No, there's some weird ass light shadow going on your wall.
Yeah, because usually we record later when the sun's down. You don't expect crack in my shades. We're just beaming through.
It's kind of cool looking.
The debut album production is showing a little bit.
Yeah, it's mixed kind of poor, but it could be cool. Oh, the tempo increase. Oh, yeah.
Says there's 2 songs for next, Mana.
Yeah, there's I Am the Resurrection and then Fool's Gold.
We had been
Was one of
hearing
these
that.
not part of the original? Was one of those not part of the original album?
That was like I can see why the Manchester United football, as the Brits would call it, soccer club, uses this as their intro song because, man, is it just sound like a stadium chanter at the end here, especially. You really can rock out to this in a group, in a crowd. It's a build-up song, and it's definitely the first time they've done this on this album for sure. All right, everyone knows what we're going to talk about. It feels like a chanting song. It feels like something you can sing along to. Absolutely got the epicness of it. It's definitely an epic, and I can feel the build-up here happening. All that is great. Problems here we have. Production. It goes to shit. I'm sorry, it just does. The mixing on this, it sounds like one big colossal instrumental at about maybe a little bit more than halfway. It just, everything blends together into one noise at that point. The production, the mixing, you can tell, Cole said it the best. You can tell it's a debut album. They just didn't find a way really to get all the instruments to sound separate and conjoined while being separate at the same time. That's not necessarily taking this album down. It's just a problem, when you have mixing that happens. Other than that, I love this song. Outside of that, I think it's fantastic. I like the hook. I like the lyrics. I think it's a great representation of, I guess, British, Britain as a whole. I think it's fantastic work on their part. I like his vocals. I'm going to give this a 9, even with his production problems. Even with the production problems, Cole. You know what? You go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I liked it, but a 9 is a lot. Decently catchy chorus on here. I mentioned that the mix was a bit of a mess when they started just adding in all these swirling sound effects and trying to get a bigger sound.
Yeah.
It did hurt a little bit. You're not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
But it's still a good song. Well written, solid performances, nice melodies. I'll throw it a 7.5.
7.5. Noah.
Mixed feelings about this one. I feel like it was definitely a little too long for 3 minutes instead of saying this is the one.
You might be right about that.
I like the dynamics on it. I like that they, go up and down pretty often, changing around a lot. Oh yeah, near the end of the song, it does become a wall of sound in a way that I don't particularly love. Especially the swirling noises.
Yeah, that was a little wild.
Fucking hated that.
It was a little much.
That's really corny to me. But besides that, it's a fine song. I think it got a little overhyped by chat.
Well, only Jonathan gave it a 10. He was the only one who said that. Everyone else is saying Fool's Gold is the 10 out of 10. So we'll see. Oh, well,
All
Mana
right.
said the next one's definitely a 10, so we'll see. I don't know. We're all over the place. Continue.
All right,
I'm sorry.
7.5.
Here is the supposed 10 out of 10. Seems Chad is in agreement. I am the resurrection.
You have candy. I don't know how you knew that, but
I love your eating and drinking habits, Cole. We did do the same with Kendrick. You're right, Hugo.
Down, down, you bring me down. I hear you knocking down my door, and I can't sleep at night. Your face, it has no place, no room for you inside my house. I need to be alone. Don't waste your words, I don't need anything from you. I don't care where you've been or what you plan to do.
Oh, hell yeah.
Turn, I wish you would. There's a time and place for everything. I've got to get it through. Cut loose, 'cause you're no use. I couldn't stand another second in your company. Don't waste your words, I don't need anything from you. I don't care where you've been or what you plan to do. Stone me, why can't you see?
That is such a cool transitional instrumental right there.
Your tongue is far too long.
Ew.
I don't like the way it sucks and slurs upon my every word.
That is a really creepy way of saying that.
Waste your words, I don't need anything from you. I don't care where you've been or what you plan to do.
I already predict Noah saying, it's too jaunty.
No,
It's too
I was gonna say
bouncy.
something else actually.
there's like 2 lines left, and there's like 5 minutes left in this song.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to pause this in a minute.
Can we crank that guitar up a little bit, please?
Would be nice. Drums are plenty loud. It's like they're making them louder. Alright, it seems like as good a time as any to pause. I'm only pausing for copyright purposes. I apologize. Simply put, if we want the stream to stay up, it will go down and everyone will have to rejoin after that. So just give me a second. But this is a very interesting song right here. And let's see, there's almost 5 minutes left here. And we're getting into a whole nother instrumental with no lyrics left. So let's continue.
What if there's 32 people watching this?
I'm surprised.
Did not know this was a video.
Wow.
Squeaky little tone.
Oh yeah. How are you hating this, Cole? How are you laughing at this?
I didn't say. When did I say I
Laughing at this,
hated
bro.
it?
You're laughing
That
at it.
guitar tone was funny. Fuck off. I don't even know what that is, Mecca.
It's a very British dude.
I mean, I've heard of it. I just don't even know what it consists of.
Ooh.
The beginning of that was rough, but they've pulled it back together since then.
This is a very unique song.
No, do you think they're trying to be Marky?
I have not heard Modest
Trying to be
Mouse.
who?
Marky Moon.
Oh. You know? There's a little jam section in the title track that gave me a little similar of a vibe.
Oh man. This goes hard. I mean, we're not talking metal here or anything like that, but it's fantastic.
Word. This is like soft rock. What do you mean it's going hard?
You're a crackhead if you think this is soft rock.
What? That was like the chillest jam right there.
You're actually on crack.
I'm not saying it was bad, I'm just saying it was like really chill
Yeah,
jam.
that was laid back.
I enjoy the hell out of 13.
Yeah, 13's
but
great.
Blur. 13 is a cool ass album.
Okay, first half of the song, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty enjoyable. I have some issues with the little jam section.
Okay.
They spent they spent about 2 minutes. I'm gonna use a little British word.
Oh boy.
They spent about 2 minutes just waffling about. They could have been doing so much more of the guitar. That was fucking pretty weak. But then they started getting a little bit more interesting with it. I appreciated that. Mixing could be better. Guitar volume could have been up a good bit at some points compared to other instruments in the mix.
Okay.
I'm not seeing the 10 here, fellas. I'm not seeing the 10.
He is
I'll
not
be real with you
seeing it.
guys.
He's not feeling
It is
Mr.
not a
Krabs.
visible 10. He did not feel it.
Best I could do is an 8.
best I can do is an 8. Rick
That is
Harrison,
exactly
and
what
this
I was
is
going
my
for.
song rating. No, it's Rick Harrison, and that was his song rating.
Gotta bring in my Stone Roses guy.
Was a Rick Harrison reference on your bingo
Nope.
card for the Stone Roses debut, Noah?
Wow.
No, but I'm happy I got a chance to slip her in.
Shout out to anyone who knows what the hell we're talking about. All right, cool.
Yeah, in terms of like critiquing the structure, I'm gonna double down on what Noah said here. Like it starts off like the parts where the lyrics are good. They're pretty solid. The beginning of the jam is a little goofy. I'm not sure what the second guitar tone was trying to do when it came in, just squeaking its ass off. That was sounded weird as hell to me and made me laugh. But then they started to pick up the pace and started to do some cool stuff, which I admired and enjoyed. The ending, I don't know where you're getting that it was like really heavy and hardcore or something at
Well,
the
you
end.
called it. No one called it soft rock, and that is a crackhead opinion.
I don't know if I would call it like soft. Well, I don't
Fucking
know.
somebody said
It just felt really
Coldplay is soft rock. This is
No,
nothing like
Coldplay is
Coldplay.
pop.
Coldplay is pop.
They try
had
to be
some
soft
pop
rock.
in there. Okay, but pop rock and soft
To
rock
say
is
that
very
soft
different.
rock is just a crackhead opinion. I'm sorry.
I just thought it was a very
It's not
chill
hard.
jam at the end.
I
I thought the jam at the end was very chill and laid back, which is not necessarily an insult. It's just
I know
how I felt about it. Yeah, I'm not. A 10 feels dramatic as hell for this. I mean, maybe if you're like really into this, I
mean,
guess you'd have to be. But
The British people might feel like it's a 10.
I
can see
don't
that.
know why. I mean, okay. There's plenty of British music that I consider to be 10 out of 10.
Does
though,
this hit
but
your
whatever.
ears differently if you're British?
I think it
Why?
does.
Like, I
They
don't get it.
clearly do. Like they clearly grow.
Led Zeppelin is
stuff
British.
like-
Pink Floyd is
Sure,
British.
but Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd were in the 60s and 70s, and this is a newer. I mean, 1989. That's basically the 90s at that point. This is a much newer era of British music. Very different.
Okay. Yeah. What do I want to give this?
Now, I'm not saying it's a 10, but I can see where they're coming
I might get crucified for this.
Oh,
film.
boy.
I'm gonna throw this as 7.5. I
from.
didn't like this. Wasn't my favorite.
Wow.
I still like the opener more than this.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm terribly sorry.
So I disagree with what these two said about the jam session. I do think it was a bit hard. I think it got harder. It progressively got harder as the session went on. That was so unintentional.
Thanks for using the word session.
I was talking about jam session, of course. That was so unintentional, but sometimes that happens.
Me too.
I thought the first part of the song was really good. I thought the lyrics were great. The first part of the session, or the jam session, Noah is 100% right, though. It's structured a bit weird. It kind of wavers. Somebody even said, yeah, waffles, but at least they're syrup. So that's an interesting little metaphor to put in there.
Corn syrup.
I liked it. Why does my camera keep going out of focus? I like it. I think there was a lot of good in this. I think the jam session was a little long, in my opinion. It probably could have done the build up a bit quicker. And if it did, I would probably give this closer to a 10 than I can see. I'll give this a solid 9, though. Last up, what Chad has told us is a banger, Fool's Gold. Okay, this is different. According to Mikey, it was on the American release of the album. Well, there we go. Rach says Fool's Gold, 10 out of 10. Hendrix? It's just that's a piss off, Noah.
Just a swap pedal for 1 second.
Wow.
It's more funk than it is Hendrix.
Wow. This is so different. mixing on this song instrumentally has been fire so far. Oh my god, this is funky. Ooh. That was kind of cool. This is unexpected. Getting louder. Is that what you're on, Cosmic? Some magic gummies? It's a little long.
Yes, it is.
A little long. A little repetitive. Ooh.
The bold statement there, Mark.
Wow. I'm getting a little tired of bouncing back and forth to this, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping for something different at this point. You know, Jonathan, I can kind of understand because it sounds very different than the rest of the album. Alright, hurry up, Mr. Stone Roses. I'm trying not to get taken down. We're just throwing in instrumentals just for the fuck of it at this point. Seeing if it fits.
I don't like being a hater.
Starts off with, you know, I really don't want to hate this.
I don't want to.
Love that start.
There is so much material here.
Oh boy.
This song is okay, this song is way too long.
It is. It's too long.
It's kind of absurd. Like, this could have been like 4.5 minutes. And then okay, the jam section. Some of these guitar effects they're doing too much. Like the little warping sounds, all that. I don't like being a hater. I don't like having to hit. But it's hard to not be a hater of this one. Like, there's just so much material to choose from that I really am not a fan of. The song's way too fucking long. I feel like even the biggest supporters of the song can be like, okay, yeah, that's true. This song could be like 4.5 minutes. And in the jam section, the guitar tones, they did not age well. They did not age well at all. This song in general feels like it didn't age well. Definitely feels like an 80s time capsule, which for some people, they could love that. Not me. That's one of my least favorite decades of music. Yeah. Yeah. Could have gone without this one. Feeling a 6.5.
Wow.
Holy Lord, a 6.5.
Yeah.
Brutal. An absolute brutality after chat hyped it up for a 10 that whole time. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay.
All
right.
Had
No,
to be
it
there, man.
had to be there.
Apparently
had
you
to be
just
there.
had to be there, Noah. God, why weren't you
Shit,
there?
man.
Why weren't you born 20 years earlier?
I don't
You're
think
not
I wanted
allowed
to be
enjoy
there.
it
What
unless
the
you were
hell,
there.
Noah?
Yeah.
What the
I don't-
hell?
If
For
it's
some
this,
reason, you're incapable of enjoying it unless you were there.
if it's this, I
Jesus,
don't want to be
boys.
there.
Jesus, come on, guys. You can respect that. That is just like, I can understand where you're coming from with that statement, but it's just dumb. All right, and I'm not meaning to call you dumb. I'm calling that a statement dumb. Cole, you're up.
I suppose this will be the first time I really counter from Noah this much during this, but that's probably my second favorite song on the album. Um, I like the groove a lot more than most of the grooves on this album. I don't think it. None of the songs ever topped the opening song for me. Um, but I mean, I liked the groove. I thought it had one of the better grooves on the album throughout the song. The section with the lyrics had a cool vibe to it, and I was digging that. It was kind of psychedelic, and I enjoyed it. And it was a solid jam section. You know, I wouldn't consider it like fucking station to station level, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was too long, and I would have liked the guitar to do a little bit more during the jam section. Maybe whip out a cool solo or something
Yeah.
here or there. But overall, I thought it was probably the second best song on the album. I would give it an 8 to an 8.5.
8 to an 8.5. And yeah, guys, we know we're just making jokes with you as well. We just had that opinion happen all the time where people's like, but if you guys were there, you would really enjoy it. Like, okay, bro. All right.
Dang, man.
Fool's Gold. Yeah. Let's give
Negative
it,
11.
yeah. So let me just say, because I know Cole has to go, I'll try to make this short. It's long. It's too long. If it was shorter, like 6 minutes instead of 9, or even like 7 minutes at the max, this would be probably a 10 because it's a really good instrumental session. It is a fantastic jam session. I loved it. I love the jam. I'm gonna completely disagree with Noah here about the jam session. I think it's fantastic. I don't think there's a single thing wrong with it. It sounds entirely different than the rest of the album. I think it goes away from the 80s era sounding of music entirely. I don't think it sounds anything like that. I don't know where Noah's getting that opinion from. The rest of the album, 100%, I agree with you. Sounds very 80s pop rockish. A lot, or at least a lot of the album, like 80 and 90% of it. This sounds nothing like that at all. This takes a lot of different eras, a lot of different genres, and I think meshes it into this wonderful jam session. The start of the song, I can see what you're saying, but even to that extent, I think it doesn't, because even when the lyrics are prevalent throughout the song, I think it's a very different style, and it's very unique. Not one I've heard very often. It's got a very funky, energetic vibe to it, and it just brings a lot of different style and sound than the rest of the album does. And for that, I gotta give him credit, because if this was not on the original, but it did come out as a single and was released on the American version, that's risky, but I appreciate the effort there. And I like that it's so different than the rest of the album. In the rest of the album, we were all like saying, oh, this sounds like 80s pop rock, blah blah blah, it's nothing that interesting, we're not a huge fan of that era. This doesn't. It just doesn't. And for me, that's at least a 9.5. All right, it's final rankings time. Let's try to cut this a little short. Cole has to go, so we'll actually let Cole start in case he has to leave for whatever reason. Cole. Oh, for those who don't know, top 3 of our album, or top 3 of the album ranked wise, and we go 1 through 10 on the album and what we thought. Continue.
What song did I give? I know the first and the last one were my 2 highest. But can you check the third one?
The third one you gave a 6.5 out of 7.
No, he means third highest rated.
Oh, third highest rated. You gave a...
I think it was a 7. I think it was I Am the Resurrection.
Most of it's the 7.5. Yeah, I don't think you ever gave anything. You gave 8 to 8.5 for Fool's Gold. You gave 8.5 on that one, and next highest was 7.5. You gave a couple 7.5.
All right, I'll say this is the one at 3, Fool's Gold at 2. I Want to Be Adored at 1.
Okay.
Overall, I mean, there was a lot of different stuff going on. It sounds like a debut album for sure, because I mean, yeah, it's a lot of Britpop, and according to Rate Your Music, some genre called baggy, which I've never heard of before.
All right.
Whatever the
they
fuck
just
that
make
means.
shit up, I swear to God.
And like jangle pop and shit, but I got mostly like Britpop vibes, like pre-Oasis and Blur type stuff. I can definitely hear that this inspired a bunch of people. I feel like a bunch of people took this kind of stuff and did it a lot more consistently with better production and better writing and a little bit better singing. I wasn't crazy with this guy's vocals. But it was still solid. Like, there's still a lot of good ideas here. I don't really know why they only have 2 albums, considering like this one was such a cult classic.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think this is a decent debut. But I'm not like a big Britpop guy. It was too close to Oasis, and I really do not like anything about Oasis for my liking. But I will give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I'll hit it up next. My top 3 is gonna be yeah, I Want to Be Adored at 3. This Is the One at 2, and Fool's Gold at 1. I do think that last song was the best one that we had heard. And I think it's absolutely a unique album in many aspects. I know there's a lot of it that sounds like 80s pop rock. I know there's a lot of it that sounds like 80s era music, but they keep it interesting throughout the album by adding in little instrumental flurries here and there. They change up tempos. They bring in instruments that are not, that they don't just keep the same tone and same vibe and the same chorus and hook and the verse all the way throughout the, each song. They throw in little flurries here and there that make it think. They do have misses. There's no, way to say, like, I don't think Don't Stop is a very good song. I don't think the backward, where I think that is the backward song. I like the other version of it. And ultimately, I think it's a very unique album, and I was not expecting it to be that way. I will give it an 8. I think it has a lot of good things, and we're still with mixing a lot of misses though, or near misses with some of the 80s era music. All right, Noah.
All right, at 3, I will go I Am the Resurrection. At 2, I'll go Made of Stone. At 1, I'll go I Want to Be Adored. This album, it was certainly unique. It did some pretty interesting stuff on it. Some good, some bad. But there's a lot of stuff in the middle that just felt kind of plain.
Sure.
And a product of its time.
Sure.
And I wasn't a fan of that because I'm not a fan of this time. Yeah. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. I'll give it a 7.5.
I thank the Mr. Mikey Cole, I believe is his name, for recommending it. Thank you, and for doing the request. We appreciate it. If you guys want to do an album request, let us know in the comments down below. And in the description of our videos and our live streams, you'll see a business email, or hit us up on Twitter, DM us there. You can also do requests there, and we'll negotiate a price. Thank you guys so much for watching. For those on YouTube, we really appreciate it. Leave a like down below and hit subscribe. Also, if you want to come to our live streams and watch us, listen to us record us along, there's a lot of extra stuff we do. We, talk with chat as well. So if you want to do that, hit the bell to get notified when we go live, and you'll be able to get a notification sent to you. Follow us on Twitter. We post whenever we go upload albums, whenever we go, or upload albums, whenever upload videos, and whenever we go live. And the Twitter link should be working, and everything should be good there. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next video.